I'm a nerd who loves knitting and spending time with my family. I got into, well, I always knew I wanted to do something with math and science. I got into programming when I was 10 because my dad sort of like handed me a book on C and was like, you should learn this. He had a software company. And I think I got as far as like control structures before I was like, this is too much of a slog, I'm done. And then in 8th grade, we had a basic programming class, and I wrote a little battleship game. And then I was like, this is cool, you know, pretty much anything you imagine you can build with programming. So that's how I decided to do it as a career. I took a little detour into China to study Chinese. At one point wanted to be a Chinese professor, but I missed IT, and so I came back to it after getting a master's in Chinese social linguistics, and I've been doing software professionally ever since. The people at FullStory are what drew me here. I had been at my previous job for a number of years, and I was looking for something different, looking for a change. I had kind of plateaued, and I was ready to try something different. And I was thinking about people I had met earlier in my career. I worked with Bruce and Joel, two of the founders, at my first job right out of school, just by chance. They were at a career fair at Georgia Tech, met them there, interviewed, and worked with them at a small startup called AppForge. So when I hit my plateau, it just so happened that Bruce pinged me and he was like, hey, what are you doing? And I was like, Bruce, like, whatever Bruce is doing, it's gotta be interesting. So I applied for a job and I interviewed with some of the other founding engineers at FullStory. And I walked away thinking I had totally failed the interview, but that I was lucky to have gotten a chance to have met those people and talked to them and seen how smart and like amazing they were. And was super excited about the possibility of working with them. And here I am, 2 years later. For the past 2 years at FullStory, I've been leading a team called Ecosystem Growth, which we recently restructured, but before the restructuring, it did 3 things. We did the FullStory integrations, which includes like Slack, or Jira, any other third-party tool that you need to talk to FullStory. Data exports, including data export APIs. And then the third thing was API structure in general. So there's some really exciting things that we built for the APIs that are coming really soon, and that's one of the things that I'm most proud of, and everybody will know more about that very shortly. But the thing that I'm most proud of is, ironically, the team breaking up, because we took those 3 parts and evolved them and grew them enough that it became clear that they were 3 distinct things operating at 3 different layers of our product. And so we've restructured so that API infrastructure and data exports have gone on to other 2 different teams in FullStory. So now my team, which is still called Ecosystem Growth, is only responsible for the integrations. And that's a good evolution, to have done the right thing for the organization and be able to focus on what we're going to need to focus on moving forward. So I've been to a lot of technical conferences in my career. This was my first Grace Hopper, and like I could name you, sessions I went to that had, sort of mind-blowing elements in them, but the main thing for me was just being there and seeing all these other women technologists in the same place. Most of my career I've kind of been the only woman on the team, sometimes the only woman engineer. So to just like know that I had all these, sisters, distant sisters maybe, but like that there were that many other women who were nerdy like me and into math and science like me and doing engineering like me, it just kind of blew me away. Like I had a moment at the conference where I had to stop walking for a second because I was just like, there's so many women here, it's unbelievable and it's amazing. And it was a really emotional moment for me. So besides my mom, another role model for me has been my aunt. She was a biologist working for the state of Missouri, and she's just always been a successful female scientist who's always been around. I sort of quietly always knew that it was possible for women to go into math and science because she was there. And at Christmas time, she would always be telling stories about going out into the field and checking the levels of toxins in freshwater fish, and she even worked with wild boars, like all these like crazy outdoor dangerous things, right? And it was just really great to hear her talk about that and know that it was possible.